Welcome back to Business Math class. I am Ma'am GN and I will be discussing about similar fractions, dissimilar fractions, addition and subtraction of fractions, and mixed numbers. As you already know, we have already discussed the proper fractions, improper fractions, the mixed numbers, the place values, their names, their parts. You already know how to get the greatest common factor. You already know how to compare fractions, and you also already know how to simplify fractions. So right now, we'll be talking about the similar and dissimilar fractions and unsaon siya, and also in adding and subtracting the fractions and mixed numbers. So are you excited? Okay, let's proceed.
Addition and subtraction of fractions and mixed numbers. In fractions, we have similar and dissimilar fractions. Similar fractions, these are fractions with the same denominators. It means they have the same equal parts. Like say for example, 1/4 and 3/4. In dissimilar fractions, these are fractions with different denominators. We will consider 3/8 and 1/4. Example, suppose a pizza was cut into 8 slices of equal size. If Christian got 1 slice and Claro got 2, then Christian got 1/8 of the pizza, while Claro got 2/8 of it. In total, the part of the pizza they got was 1 plus 2 over 8 equals 3/8. Since they have the same denominator, it is easier for us to add the numerator. Suppose Bian got 3 slices of a pizza, cut into 8 slices of equal size, while Adeng got 2 slices of a pizza, cut into 6 slices of equal size. Bian got 3/8 of one pizza, while Adeng got 2/6 of the other. The sum of these fractions cannot be determined by adding the numerators. Why? Because their denominators are different. So what are we going to do? We must therefore find a way to turn these dissimilar fractions into similar fractions. But how are we going to convert these dissimilar fractions into similar fractions? We are going to use their least common denominator, or the LCD. I believe that you have learned and knew about this. We'll continue. So if each slice in the first pizza is cut into 3 smaller slices of equal size, the pizza would be cut into 8 times 3 equals 24 slices in all. Andrew B would have 3 times 3 equals 9 of these slices. Thus, 3/8 is equivalent to 9/24. On the other hand, if each slice in the second pizza is cut into 4 smaller slices of equal size, the pizza would be cut into 6 times 4 equals 24 slices in all, and Mades would have 2 times 4 equals 8 of these slices. Thus, 2/6 is equivalent to 8/24. The sum of the parts Ruby and Mades got is, therefore 9 plus 8 over 24 equals 17 over 24. The 24 found in the example is called the least common denominator of the two fractions 3/8 and 2/6. Both of these fractions are converted into equivalent fractions with denominator 24. Least common denominator, or the LCD, of a set of fractions is the least common multiple of their denominators. The LCD allows the conversion of the similar fractions into similar fractions that can be added or subtracted.
So let's have our example. Find the LCD and convert into similar fractions. Let's consider 2/5 and 7/20. So their LCD would be 20.
So how are we going to convert the dissimilar fractions into similar fractions? So the new denominator will be divided by the old denominator. So 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So therefore, the similar fraction of 2/5 is 8 over 20. And since 7 over 20, ang iyang denominator is already 20, so you should copy na lang siya. So 8 plus 7 equals 15, then copy the denominator. Let's have another example. 5 over 9 and 1/6. What do you think is their LCD? Okay, so we will try 18. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Okay, so 18 divided by 9 is equal to 2. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Okay, so 9 is equal to 10 over 18. This will be the new similar fraction. The next is the 1/6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So therefore, 1/6 is 3 over 18. And since we already have the same denominator, we can already add the numbers. Okay. Next example, we have 3/8, 4/5, and 5/12. What do you think is their LCD? How about 120? Yes. 120 divided by 8 times 3 is equal to 45. This will be our first similar fraction. Next is 120 divided by 5 times 4 is, yes, 96. This will be our second similar fraction. The next is 120 divided by 12 times 5 is, okay, 50 over 120. So now they have the same denominator. You can already add or subtract the fractions. Good? Okay. Under fractions, we already know that we have similar and dissimilar fractions. But how are we going to add and subtract these fractions? In similar fractions, all you have to do is add or subtract the numerators, then copy the denominator, and simplify the result if necessary. In dissimilar fractions, we should use the LCD to make the fractions similar. Then, we would again add or subtract the numerators, then copy the denominator. Note, when adding or subtracting dissimilar fractions, express the fraction in lowest terms before finding the least common denominator, or by simplifying the fractions. Example, number 1, we have 1/6 plus 3/6. Since they have the same denominator, we should right away add or subtract the numerators, then copy the denominator. So in this case, 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Then we will copy the denominator, which is 6. if you notice, 4/6 can be simplified. So we right away simplify the result, in which this case, it became 2/3. Number 2, 11/14 minus 5/14. Same as number 1, we would right away add or subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. In this case, 11 minus 5 is equal to 6. Then copy the denominator. 6/14, we can still simplify this fraction. So this became 3/7. In number 3, 3/11 plus 1/2. They have different denominators. So what are we going to do? We will find the least common denominator, which is 22. So therefore, they have already the same denominator. So we will directly add or subtract the numerators. 6 plus 11 is equal to 17/22. And in number 4, 6/18 minus 7/4 is equal to 1/3 minus 7/4. But, Mom, what happened to 6/18? As you can see, we can simplify directly 6/18. So it would be easier for us to add or subtract. So the new fraction is 1/3 minus 7/4. So we will find the least common denominator, which is 12. So 4 divided by 12. 4/12 minus 21/12. 4 minus 21 is equal to 17/12. If you will ask, Ma'am, unsaon man to convert dissimilar fractions into similar fractions, how are we going to write the new fraction of those similar fractions? Okay, so let's proceed with number 3 as an example. 3/11 plus 1/2. So first, we will find their least common denominator. In this case, we have 22. Ma'am, kiunsa pagkuha sa 6 and 11? So first, you are going to divide the new denominator to the old denominator. Like say for example, 22 is their LCD. So 22 divided by 11, that is 2. 2 times 3, which is the numerator, is equivalent to 6. And the next fraction, 22 divided by 2, is equal to 11 times the numerator, which is 1. So 11 times 1 is equal to 11. That's how you will get their new similar fractions. Okay, again, so how are we going to add or subtract the fractions in both similar and dissimilar fractions? Number 1, is this a similar or dissimilar fraction? Okay, we have a similar fraction. So since the same naman ang ilahang denominator, we can add or subtract the numerators right away. So 1/6 plus 3/6. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4/6. You remembered our last lesson, right? The simplifying fractions. Can we simplify rather? Can we simplify 4/6? Yes. We can simplify it by 2. Okay, so 2/4 and 2/6. So the new fraction is 2/3. Next number, 11/14 minus 5/14. Is this a similar or dissimilar fraction? Right, this is a similar fraction. So we can subtract directly the numerator. 11 minus 5 equals 6. Right. 6/14. Can we simplify this fraction? Yes, of course. So the new fraction would be 3/6. 7. Very good. Next number. 3 over 11 plus 1/2. Is this a similar fraction or a dissimilar fraction? Okay, this is a dissimilar fraction. So first, what are we going to do? We will find the LCD. Okay, so the LCD would be 22. 22 divided by 11 times 2 is 6. 22 divided by 2 times 1 is 11. So we already have a similar fraction. Now, we can add it directly. So 6 plus 11 equals 17 over 22. But make sure diba I remind you that when looking on a dissimilar fraction, you would also check those fractions if pwede ba siya ma-simplify right away to make it easier for you to add or subtract. Say for example in number 4, 6 over 18, 7 over 4. Diba they are dissimilar fractions? Right. So, are there fractions na pwede ma-simplify? Yes. How about 6 over 18? So, unsa may pwede nato ma-simplify sa 6 over 18? We can make it into 1/3, right? And 7 over 4. So now, nahimo na siyang smaller number, so it won't be a difficult task for us to find their LCD. So what do you think is the LCD of 3 and 4? Yes, we have 12. So 12 divided by 3 times 1 is 4. 12 divided by 4 times 7 is 21. And since they have the same denominator, we can right away add or subtract the numerator. So, 4 minus 21 is negative 17 over 12. Is it good? Okay. In addition to all of that, if mangutana mo, ma'am, kanusa man ta pwede makasimplify? Okay, class. When it comes to similar fractions, mag-simplify mo after lang mo maka-answer. Like number 2 and number 1 and number 2. 4, 6 ang iyong answer, so ning diretso na siya og simplify into 2/3. Ning answer siya, then ning simplify siya. In terms of the similar fraction, you should find a fraction first nga pwede ninyong ma-simplify. So, like say for example in number 4, naman tayo pwedeng ma-simplify right away to make it easier for us to find the LCD. So, inana siya. In adding or subtracting mixed numbers, first you would add or subtract the integer parts. Second is to add or subtract the fractional parts. If the result is an improper fraction, find its equivalent mixed number. And third, add the results in 1 and 2 and then simplify. Example, evaluate the following and simplify if necessary. Number 1, 14 and 2/3 plus 6 and 3/8. If you can see, they have dissimilar fractions. So you'll find their LCD, which is 24. 24 divided by 3 times 2 equals to 16. 24 divided by 8 times 3 equals to 9. So therefore, the answer is 25 over 24. So since it's an improper fraction, we would find its equivalent mixed number, which is 1 and 1/24. Thus, 14 and 2/3 plus 6 and 3/8 is equal to 20 plus 1 and 1/24 is 21 and 1/24. Second example, 5 and 2/7 minus 5 and 4/9. Again, we'll find your LCD, which is 63, divided by 7 times 2 equals 18. 63 divided by 9 times 4 equals 28. So 18 minus 63 minus 28 over 63 is equal to negative 10 over 63. Thus, 5 and 2/7 minus 5 and 4/9 is equal to 0. plus negative 10 over 63 equals negative 10 over 63.
Okay, so when it comes to mixed numbers, what are you going to do first? First is to add or subtract the integer parts. So we have 14 and 6. 14 plus 6 is equal to 20. So nanatadaan 20 nga integer nga part. So next, we will proceed with the fraction nga part. 2/3 and 3/8. Can we add them right away? Dili. Why? Because they are dissimilar fractions. So what are we going to do? We will find their LCD. Okay, so what do you think is their LCD? We have 24. So 24 divided by 3 times 2 is, right, 16. 24 divided by 8 times 3 is 9. So so can we already add them? Yes, because similar fractions na sila. So 16 plus 9 is 25. Then copy the denominator. But since improper man siyang fraction, diba? I told you in the last lesson nga ang mixed number, ang typical mixed number should be whole number and a proper fraction. So dili man siya pwedeng improper siya. So we will convert this one first into mixed number. So unsa pag-convert ganito siya? Divide, okay? So pila ka 24 ang naa sa 25? There is only 1. So naatay remainder nga 1. So we have 1 and 1, 24. So, since naman tayo remaining at 20 na integer part, so 20 plus 1 and 1, 24. So, the answer is 21, 1 over 24. Okay. Next number 2. Consider 5 and 2/7 minus 5 and 4/9. First, add or subtract the integer part, which is 5 and 5. So, 5 minus 5 is 0. So, wala na tayo integer nga part. So, we will proceed with the fractional part. 2/7 minus 4/9. Can we subtract them right away? Of course not. Kay dissimilar ilahang fraction. So, we're going to check if naabate pwedeng masimplify nila? Wala. So, we will find their LCD right away. So, what do you think is their LCD? Okay, 63 divided by 7 times 2 is 18. Minus 63 divided by 9 times 4 is 28. So, can we add or subtract it right away na? Yes, because it is a similar fraction na. So, therefore, 18 minus 28 is negative 10 over 63. So, since wala naman tayo whole number, so the final answer is negative 10 over 63. Got it na? Very good.
It's practice time!
Since you already know how to add and subtract fractions and mixed numbers, right now we will be having our exercise. Okay, number 1, consider 2/5 plus 2/5. Since similar fraction naman siya, so we can directly add or subtract the fractions. Make sure to check lasa if addition ba siya or subtraction ng operation niya. So, 2 plus 2 is 4 over 5. Can we simplify this one? Dili na. So, this is our final answer. Number 2, 7 over 8 minus 3 over 4. They are dissimilar fractions. So, we will check which fraction ang pwede pa masimplify. Nabatay pwede masimplify nilang duha? Wala na. So, we will directly find their LCD.
What do you think is the LCD? Okay, 8. So, since 8 naman ang denominator niya, you can copy right away. Kay, if mag-divide ka og time, same naman gyapon siya, so it's easier for you to copy right away. So, 7 over 8 unya, 8 divided by 4 is 2 times 3 is 6. So, similar fractions naman sila, so we can subtract right away na. 7 minus 6 is 1 over 8. Can we simplify this one? Dili na. So, we have our final answer. Next number, 1 and 1/10 plus 4 and 4/5. Since this is a mixed number, we will check on the integer part first. So, 1 plus 4 equals 5. After that one, we will check on the fractional parts. 1 over 10 and 4 over 5. Since this is a dissimilar fraction, we will check if na ba tayo pwedeng masimplify nila. Naa ba? Wala. Okay, so we will find the LCD na. What do you think is the LCD of 10 and 5? Right, 10. Since 10 na po yung denominator, we will just copy it right away. 10 divided by 5 is 2, times 4 is 8. So, similar fractions, we can already add. So, 8 plus 1 is 9 over 10. Can we simplify? Dili na. So, I don't forget the whole number class ha nga nagpabilin. So, 5 plus 9 over 10 is 5, 9, 10. So, this is our final answer. Last number, 3 and 2/4 minus 2 and 1/4. We will check on the integer first. So, 3 minus 2 is 1. So, we have a remaining balance sa ilang whole number which is 1. Next, we will proceed with the fractional parts. Ang fractional parts, is it similar or dissimilar? Yeah, similar fraction naman siya, so we can subtract right away. So, 2 minus 1 is 1 over 4. Then, don't forget the whole number. 1 plus 1/4 equals 1 and 1/4. So, we have our final answer. Good? Okay, good.
Take note. Always check what kind of operation is given. And don't forget to simplify fractions to make it easier for you. Well, I guess you're good to go. Please answer the activity that is attached together with this file. Again, this is your teacher, GN Bonfaso, who would like to say, stay strong, rest if you must, but don't you ever quit. See you next Friday. Bye!